Hi guys, John here again. I would like to talk today about narcissistic rage. Now, if you've ever seen the rage, it's hell-raising. they can be very violent, vicious people. Now, the narc they hold everything inside of them. Um, Everything that has ever happened to them, from the time they were a kid, right through their whole lifetime. This is all inside of them, and they have it all pent up. They've never made restitution for anything, and it's just a terrible, bitter anger they have at the world. And it's actually an anger they have towards themselves. But when you see a narcissist go into a fit of rage, it is a good idea to be cautious about them. Now, rage is an anger that is being projected from themselves. They have an anger towards themselves, and when this rage comes out, they release this anger and they project it onto whoever may be around then. If you are with a narcissist, if you disagree with a narcissist or you have a different opinion, any slight little thing that would seem like nothing to the narcissist, it is a terrible affliction on them. And when they flip out and they start raging, this is a time to just pay attention to them, but don't react. It could only make it worse. Now, I have seen before where this man, narcissist that I know, when he would turn into a fit of rage, he would have supernatural strength. Like he could knock three people out because it's such a violent demonic power that the man would have in him that can be very dangerous. I haven't had a woman come at me violently because I am a pretty big man, and I guess they thought twice about it. But this man also, I was mentioning, I was in church one time, and he was very insecure, which they all are. All narcs are very insecure people. And I would sit with him at the back row of the church just so he would feel comfortable. And after a few times going to the church, he got friendly with a few people in the church, and I didn't want to sit at the back anymore. So I decided to move up about the middle of the church. So what happened shortly after that, this man was walking up towards the front of the church, and on the way up, he whacked me over the head with his Bible. Man, he hit me hard too. And he goes up to the front of the church, he kneels down. A few minutes later, he walks back and he stops where I am, and he says, "I want to meet you outside when the church is over." So anyways, after the church service was over, he's standing waiting for me at the exit in the church. So he says, "Come on." So I follow him to the edge of the parking lot. He puts his fist up and he's just raging. And I couldn't figure it out then, but later I did figure it out. He was so insulted because I would not sit with him. They're just big babies, they're little kids, that his rage is just overwhelmed. But when I showed no fear to them, what they want to project onto you is fear. They want to control you. And when a person doesn't respond with an action of fear, they're confused. They don't understand when some people have no fear of them. So anyways, this is one example of narcissistic rage, and in a church setting at that. And the thing is, when they do become enraged, because of, it could be the slightest little thing. You could disagree with them about, say, what politician that you would prefer to vote in, and if it's different from them, they could just snap. And this rage that comes out, it's a rage of everything in their whole past, everything that they have not resolved, because they do not resolve anything in their life. They just keep everything inside of them, and they have a self-hatred, a self-anger, and this is what is projecting from them. And a woman narcissist I was with, I just casually commented one time that it would be impossible for everyone to know every word in the English language. And of course she says, oh, well, I know every word in the English language. So what I did is I grabbed a big fat dictionary and I opened it at random at a page, and I started reading the words off. And she didn't know any of the words. And oh, the rage that came from her, because I exposed her, exposing them to who they really are. They're just lying little runts, they're little kids. This is what brings the rage out. But if a person does become enraged, you had better be cautious. Don't argue with these people. If you haven't gotten away from this narcissist yet, and they do react with rage, they can very easily become violent because they've lost all reasoning and all sense of consequence, and they can be very harmful. And I would suggest that anybody that is with a person that has a temper like that, for your sake, get away from them. They will eventually physically harm you. And anyways, this is all I wanted to speak today about on Narcissistic Rage. And I thank you guys for listening. Subscribe if you haven't. Share. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye for now.